might be stuck in the courts in the States. It's a different kind of vehicle technology that's powering ahead in China. The country has now become the world's largest electric car market, surpassing the US, with sales of green vehicles there soaring by 80% in September compared to last year. It's at least thanks in part because of government efforts to expand electric vehicle production capacity. A number of recent joint ventures between domestic firms and foreign partners have also been formed, including BMW, which we mentioned yesterday. China wants hybrid of electric cars to make up a fifth of auto sales by 2025. OK, time for a quick break, but don't leave. We've got something a little fishy for you when we return. We'll be telling you about the Australian real estate agent who's almost certainly never seen Jaws.
Midnight falls. Time to get loose. Embrace the night from a brand new angle as we take you to the heights of erotic ecstasy. A little naughty, a little kinky, a little wild. Tune in. Now you see novelty.
She will not stop until she has remade our world.
Tom Cruise starring in The Mummy. Available on Now Video Express.
Rent and watch right away with Now TV set-top box. Tune into channel 106 and check out what's hot on Now Video Express. Or call our service hotline for details.
Finally, there is a TV program exclusively for dogs. And of course, for humans who love their furry friends. Scientifically developed, pup-approved. The content is solely designed to appeal to man's best friend. Let your dog sit around TV and be stimulated and entertained by the exciting movements and objects. Or simply chill them out with soothing sounds and images. Just sit back and enjoy the fun of watching TV with your pooches. Dog TV, Saturday and Sunday nights at 8 on ViuTVSix. Provocative stories that have changed lives. Insightful interviews with notable figures from the worlds of news, politics, and entertainment. ViuTV6 brings you one of the most esteemed news magazines. ABC News 2020. Sunday night at 9:30 on ViuTV6. One of the best TV shows ever made. The show that changed TV forever.
Mr. Soprano?
Yeah.
A remarkably human and inhuman drama.
Are you in the mafia?
Am I into what?
Whatever you want to call it. Organized crime.
That's total crap. Who told you that? You all right?
My leg's broken, the boat's coming through.
Let me see. Where's my money?
Get obsessed with the gangster's paradise all over again.
I'd like to propose a toast. And if you're lucky, you remember the little moments that were good.
Now TV presents HBO Originals, The Sopranos. From October 18th, every Tuesday and Wednesday night at 10:30 on ViuTV6. From a pug that swallowed a safety pin to a dolphin with cancer, Dr. Chris Brown and his team know the way to treat them.
Should we get rid of those parasites? No, I would say yes.
Right, we're done.
He's still alive.
A touching look at the bond between man and animal.
Doing really well, sweetie. So how could he not love you?
She just wants affection. She wants to be with you. She wants to be part of your life.
One of the best animal shows ever. Bondi Vet. Thursday nights at 8:30 on ViuTV6.
Welcome back. Transport Secretary Frank Chan said the government is reviewing whether to cover red minibuses and shuttle buses in a new transport subsidies scheme. Under the scheme proposed by the Chief Executive on Wednesday, commuters spending more than $400 a month could get up to $300 worth of subsidies. The concerns were raised by people who mainly travel by housing estate shuttle buses or red minibuses for those who live in more remote areas, as both are excluded from this scheme. Chan said he's now taking these into account, saying the scheme's aim is to relieve people of transport expenses.
If there are genuine reasons that the scheme would help them out in some way, I think this deserves our consideration. And we need to also consider the amount of public expenditure on such inclusion as well. And therefore, we need to go back and consider in much greater details.
Meanwhile, maternity leave here could soon be extended to at least 14 weeks. That's according to Welfare Secretary Law Chi Kwong, who said the government is happy to subsidise employers over the policy change. This after Carrie Lam proposed to prolong the 10-week statutory maternity leave in her maiden policy address. The international labour standard is set at 14 weeks, so Law said Hong Kong should be on par with that. He cited Singapore as an example for how the government could help pay part of the new mothers' salaries, and he hopes details will be ironed out within 3 years to bring it into effect. Moving across to South Korea now, where a top court has ruled to extend the detention of former President Park Geun-hye. The former leader has been on trial over corruption charges which led to her impeachment earlier this year. The Seoul Central District Court issued an added 6 months to her arrest warrant, which was set to expire this Monday. It's a case of one step forward, two steps back for Californian firefighters battling the deadliest wildfires in more than 2 decades. That's as the death toll rises to at least 31 people, with many more missing. Firefighters have managed to carve containment lines across a handful of blazes, but at the same time, dry, gusty winds have picked up again and threatened to fan flames deeper into the Napa Valley. There are now fears for the wine town of Calistoga, with its 5,000-plus residents ordered to evacuate. Its mayor gave a stern warning to those thinking of staying behind.
This is a mandatory evacuation. Your presence in Calistoga is not welcome if you are not a first responder. Your choice to stay, and there have been very few of them, is a distraction to our first responders. You will not be given life safety support at this point. You are on your own.
Well, US Democrats are furious after President Donald Trump made a bold move to dismantle Obamacare, promising he will pay the price for it. This as the White House announced he's ending subsidies worth billions of dollars to health insurers. Fred Kanayama has more.
And they're going to be very happy.
President Donald Trump signed an executive order to weaken Obamacare.
It directs the Department of Health and Human Services, the Treasury, and the Department of Labor to take action to increase competition, increase choice, and increase access to lower-priced, high-quality health care options.
Trump's order offers more access to bare-bones plans that do not cover essential health benefits, such as maternity, prescription drugs, and mental health. It also allows small businesses to band together as associations to buy cheaper, less regulated health plans with fewer benefits. Brookings Institution's Matthew Fiedler.
Is that if you're one of those healthier people who shifts into the parallel markets being created under this proposal, you may pay less, though you'll generally get worse coverage in terms of the types of benefits that are covered and the amount of protection that you have against very high out-of-pocket costs. But like everything in healthcare policy, that those benefits, the healthier people that are switching out of the existing market, come at a cost to the people with serious healthcare needs who depend on the market that exists today.
Fiedler says the executive order is another step to weaken Obamacare. Trump has not committed to making payments to insurers guaranteed under the legislation. He also halved the open enrollment period and slashed the Obamacare advertising and outreach budget. His own health care legislation failed to pass in Congress.
To some other news headlines now. There's a ray of hope for peace in the Middle East as rival Palestinian factions Hamas and Fatah signed an unprecedented reconciliation deal. Hamas has agreed to hand over administrative control of Gaza almost a decade after seizing the enclave in a civil war. Meantime, Egypt will be mediating the bilateral talks, which will see a power-sharing government controlling the Rafah border crossing with the nation. Libya's refugee camps are crying out for help, with the head of one saying 70% of migrants there need medical attention. That's after nearly 6,000 displaced people arrived at the Garan camp just south of capital Tripoli last month, fleeing fighting in the coastal city of Sabratha. Sabratha was once the launch pad for crossings to Europe. Over in Liberia, the first round of its presidential election appears to have gone without a hitch. Foreign observers say the poll was largely free of any irregularities. 3 political parties fielding candidates did allege fraud and vowed to contest the results, but observers feel the country's first democratic power shift in more than 7 decades ran smoothly.
You know, people were forced to wait, and they waited. People were forced to wait, and they waited peacefully. And that was a remarkable testament, again, to the will of the Liberian people to continue this peaceful and democratic process.
Okay, time now for a look at what's happening in the world of sport. We begin with cricket now, and Test match fans rejoice. The International Cricket Council has greenlit an international Test championship in a bid to reignite fan support for the long-form game. Countries can also experiment with the length of matches. The ICC signed off a one-day international league as well, but told reporters that the deals of these developments still had to be worked out.
Already we've seen that Test cricket is at different stages in different countries, and it's still very popular, extremely popular in the likes of England and Australia in particular, and maybe less so in some others. And whether we can resurrect the interest in those countries where Test cricket, the interest in Test cricket has fallen away is what we're trying to hopefully achieve.
Exciting news for cricket fans there. All right, well, Russian sports officials are unhappy with their anti-doping reforms aren't being recognised by the international community. At a meeting of a state-backed anti-doping commission with representatives of Russian sports federations, officials insisted the country has made significant progress on the issue. Its Athletics Federation, Paralympic Committee and Anti-Doping Agency remain suspended by the World Anti-Doping Agency following state-sponsored doping allegations.
I need to say that unfortunately information on our reforms is not reaching everyone in the world. So it's very important that at meetings with your colleagues from international federations, you should inform them as much as possible about it. This is very important because it's a starting point for our future cooperation.
Finally tonight, no, this isn't a low-budget remake of Jaws. This Australian real estate agent became an overnight internet sensation after she calmly removed a metre-long shark from her ocean pool. The shark joins the, well, nightmarish lineup of other creatures that have been found in pools across Australia, including giant alligators and snakes. Haven't experienced that myself, but I don't think I'd cope with it very well at all. Okay, well, that's it for now. Do make sure you join us again tomorrow night at 7 for an update on the stories that are shaping your world. I'm Britt Clennett, and this is ViuTV News.